The Festival of Insignificance is the 11th novel by Milan Kundera, a Czech author based in Paris. Released in France in 2013 and in English in 2015, this slim 115-page book is divided into 7 parts, a narrative technique reminiscent of Kundera's debut novel, The Unbearable Lightness of Being. The novel explores themes similar to those in his earlier work, leading some critics to view it as a reflective bookend to Kundera's career. The story revolves around 5 male friends living in Paris and eschews a central plot in favor of focusing on the minor events in their lives, their conversations, and their internal musings. Alain, a middle-aged intellectual, is the primary narrator. The novel opens with Alain walking through Paris, contemplating the impact of women's bodies on his feelings. Meanwhile, Alain's recently retired friend, Ramon, is at Luxembourg Gardens admiring sculptures when he encounters his wealthy friend, Dardello. They chat about an acquaintance, Madame Frank, admiring her resilience in rejoining society shortly after her husband's death. Ramon invites Dardello to his birthday party, where Dardello falsely claims to have terminal cancer, a lie Ramon believes with tragicomical ease. Dardello, pleased with his deception, takes satisfaction in his convincing performance. After parting ways with Dardello, Ramon meets his friend Charles to discuss an upcoming cocktail party, but their conversation shifts to gossip about Quacquelique, another friend who they find dull and unamusing. They note that Quacquelique seems to have more success with women than Dardello, with Charles attributing this to Quacquelique's more agreeable nature. Despite labeling Dardello a narcissist, they feel a twinge of sympathy for him due to his fictitious illness. Caliban, an unemployed actor, joins Ramon and Charles. They discuss a story from memoirs of Nikita Khrushchev involving Stalin. While Caliban dismisses the story as humorous, Charles argues that it would have been far from funny for those living under Stalin's regime. They agree, however, that the story was likely intended as a joke, and the misunderstanding arose because the concept of a joke had become obsolete. Meanwhile, Alain continues to ruminate on women's bodies, particularly focusing on the navel. Alain reminisces about a childhood incident where he perceived his mother looking at his navel with a mix of contempt and pity. Shortly after this event, his mother abandoned him. He shares this memory with Charles, who reveals he has also been reflecting on his own mother lately. Their conversation is interrupted as they need to prepare for a party. At the party, Caliban is working as a waiter and often pretends to be Pakistani, speaking in an invented language. While he and Charles view this as a joke, the humor remains elusive. Ramon tries to communicate with Caliban in French, but Caliban warns him not to ruin the gag. Ramon worries that Caliban's antics could land him in trouble and laments the state of society's sense of humor. Caliban successfully navigates the party without incident and later joins Alain for a drink. The following morning, Alain feels a spectral presence of his mother and imagines her apologizing for bringing him into the world without his consent. In turn, Alain apologizes for entering her life unbidden. He later meets Ramon and Dardello in Luxembourg Gardens, where they stroll among the statues. Children are preparing the park for a concert, and Ramon, still under the impression of Dardello's imminent demise, advises him on the importance of maintaining humor and a positive attitude, including through jokes and pranks. The men feel uplifted as the children begin singing La Marseillaise. The Festival of Insignificance reads more as a collection of anecdotes than a traditional novel. It emphasizes the significance of humor, teasing, and not taking life too seriously. Flashbacks suggest that even figures like Stalin were adept at jokes and pranks, a motif that intrigues Kundera, a survivor of the Soviet Union. The book's focus on historical figures and its existential contemplation of life's meaning and isolation lend it an air more suited to the early 20th century than to the contemporary era. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.